Hey everyone, Wim here for Per-Sonal. Super excited to share with you today the tutorial on using Polynator with the TR8-S or TR6-S for that matter. So yeah, let's dive into it. So what is the setup we have here today? We have of course the TR8-S and also the Arturia Beatstep Pro, which is a very awesome machine, and I think a lot of people will be excited that now you can finally use external sequencers with the TR8-S because the translation in the software is done so you can play everything chromatically in the right key if you want, and yeah, so you don't have to fiddle with the tune knobs. All the notes are exactly how they should be. So how is this thing set up? So the TR8-S and the Arturia are connected through USB on my MacBook, but the software also runs on iOS, Windows, and even Linux, so you can run it on a Raspberry. So let's dive into setup here. So what do we have here? We have the keystep 32 as an input. I will show you that later. So you can have multiple MIDI inputs, an external MIDI controller here, and the Beatstep Pro of course, and the MIDI output is TR8-S. You can also use Bluetooth MIDI if you have some Bluetooth devices, so that's possible too. Okay, what kind of sections do we have here? So on the top we have the presets we can save, we can cycle through. We have the setup that we showed, MIDI CC, you can map the MIDI CC values, we'll show that later also. The MIDI clock you want the software to sync to, that is for the LFOs. You have 4 modes, mono, poly, sequencer, one-note chords. Mono is of course a very clear, you can only use one channel. Polyphonic is 3 or more channels that you can use to create polyphony on the machines. Sequencer is what we'll focus on today, and one-note chords is of course a combination of the poly that you just hit one note and you play a full chord. You can select the key here if you want to, all the scales, major, minor. Okay, so what is this section here? Here you select the kit you want on the TR8-S, so if you change it and you hit a MIDI note, it will change it on the TR8-S itself also. This is what track you want to play in mono mode. You can set velocities here, minimum, maximum, the pitch bend, how far should it go, 2 to 12 semitones. This is for poly of course, and one-note chords, how many voices do you want. This is where the voice should start, so with which channel. So for example here I have, we have a piano sound on these 3 channels, so we can use the poly mode to play them, and they start of course at channel 3, so the voice start should be at 3. Mod CC values, this is for later, and the MIDI channel the software should listen on if you want to specify that. So maybe first let's play a bit. Let's go to sequencer mode and let's show you here, for example, the drums. You can of course lay down a pattern. Sequencer 1 has is on channel 2. Yeah, let's just play something in. So yeah, it goes very fast, very easy. So lay down a pattern. Let's go to sequencer 2. So here you can see the notes. From C0 up to C1, the 2 octaves. So you can just, yeah. Start playing. Let's turn off the LFO for now. down a pattern, change it to the visual notes you have, and it goes very fast. So that's sequencer mode. Yeah, I think this will be awesome for a lot of people. So let's go into poly mode. In poly mode you can play in poly mode. Who knew? Let's take another keyboard here to show you. Okay, let's add some LFOs to it. These are 4 LFOs at your disposal, and they are multi-channel. So it looks a bit complicated, but in actuality it isn't. So what is this used for? So 102, what does it mean? 102 is the MIDI CC value on a TR8-S that stands for the control knob on track 3. So you can find this in the manual of the Roland. So 102, 103, 104, this is the first 3 channels, the control knobs. So if I play a note, you can hear it on channel 3. I put the LFO on it. You can create some movement. That's the offset. That's the rate. You can sync it to the tempo, of course, if you want to. So yeah, you can go totally nuts with this. I tend to use it just mainly on the control knob. Then you have full control over it, so you don't get crazy stuff going on when you're playing. The same is here for the multi-channel parameters. So this is a bit the same principle as the LFO. So let's grab the other keyboard again. So I'm playing the. This is also the filter again, of course, across all the channels at the same time. Now you can MIDI map it. So here, let's take this knob for example. So now you can use your MIDI knobs to control the movement or control parameters. You can set this to volume, for example, on the channels, and create your own kind of mixer multi-track. You can do whatever you want with it. The option is yours. So what haven't we seen yet? You can also have a bunch of settings here that you can alter the number of tracks you want to have active. Let's say you don't want to use 5, 6, 7, you can exclude them here. You can set your own MIDI channel numbers, the CC values for the aftertouch. If you want to use aftertouch, you can. You can change the track note numbers here if you have a custom setup on your machine. And the tune CC values, you can change them also here because they're different on the 8 and the 6. Okay, let's dive into one note chords to end. As you see, the buttons here light up. As we have 3 of the same sounds on these channels, you can play one note chords, which is quite powerful. Okay, so let's go back to sequencer mode, start playing again. What can we do now? We can of course also use a sequencer of the TR8-S at the same time. So yeah, so you can do combination of the tracks that you want to play with your sequencer and use the full chromatic experience. So for example the kick here with the sequencer of the Roland, and then just use these 3 channels to do your chromatic stuff, because it's way handier to know the notes you play. And if you have a bigger sequencer, of course, you can do a lot more of chromatic tracks. So this is it in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'm really excited to see how you guys use it. Yeah, what feature requests you have. So yeah, hit me up in the comments or join our Discord channel. Hope you like it. Just wanted to show that it's available on iOS also. If you have something like an iRig 2, for example, to connect it with, or a MIDI connection kit, or some Bluetooth devices, you can play it on iOS also. So have a great one and see you in the comments. Bye.